Welcome to Ethan Live. It is Tuesday, August the 5th, I believe. It is, there are several days today, but I did want to mention for folks that follow Ethan, it is Jinx's birthday today.
Oh,
So happy birthday to Little Jinx.
Happy birthday, Jinx.
Little Jinx was a dog years ago that was found in a box at the bus stop in downtown Louisville and ended up at the shelter, and we adopted Jinx after we lost one of our little dogs. But I am super excited for what we are doing now. You know, when we got back into Ethan Almighty, it was very important for me to, Ethan Live, it was very important for me to bring on some folks that could talk about how we do court cases and prosecute these bills, these laws in Kentucky. But it was also about hero dogs. And we had this vision of creating this hero dog, people that we brought on, past hero dogs. We have a Facebook group that is past hero dogs community. And people will probably hear me say this through a bunch of these is, I think one of the things I tell Dr. Robin whenever I run into her is she, you know, not only did she create like these awards and this recognition for these dogs that are doing some amazing things around the country, she's created this community of people that have become friends and have stuck together and can advocate for one another and promote one another about what they're doing. And this I'm super excited about because this is the new class, 2025 class of hero dogs, the semifinalists of 5 categories. And this is episode 1. And we're so excited to be joined by Lieutenant Doug Dupel. You are in North Carolina. Tell us what part of North Carolina you're in.
So we're right here, right about the western edge, just north of Charlotte by about an hour, just south of Boone. Anybody knows App State University? Our county actually borders that county, so we're just below them, right in the bottom of the foothills of the mountains.
Okay.
Very, very cool. And so Lieutenant Doug Dupel has Harrison, who is a semifinalist in the law enforcement and first responder category, one of the most special categories we have there. But before we get into Harrison, Doug, if you don't mind, talk to me a little bit about sort of your background and how you got into law enforcement and how long you've been doing it and sort of your journey through that.
All right. So actually, before law enforcement, I had the midlife crisis. So before law enforcement, I was actually the road supervisor for the city of Hickory. So anything road building wise, paving, storm drains, curb, gutter, sidewalk, that was me. I had 51 employees underneath of me at that time. I had done that all my life. So that time, by about the time I switched, I was probably 23 years in the road construction between the two. I had the county of Burlington first and then the city of Hickory. So
you got all the complaints about the roads.
Yes, I fixed all the potholes, anything but water and sewer. I didn't. Yep, anything but water and sewer. I didn't touch it, or trash. I helped them, but I didn't touch it. Yeah. So unfortunately, the thing that we got into was we had a case down here. It actually started in Caldwell and then transitioned into Catawba County and actually the city of Hickory where I worked. It was Zara Baker. It was a little girl that her stepmother unfortunately killed her and then spread her apart in 2 different counties. And at that time, the Hickory Police Department came to us at the road department because they needed equipment. There was a lot of wood piles, a lot of big debris that was on this property. And I'll say I was older. I was a lot older than my employees at that time. Most of my equipment operators at that time were probably in their mid-20s or late 20s at most. So most of them at the time either had very small children or had children at the same age. Like I said, I was a little bit older, so hate to say I'm placing myself, but I was in my 40s. at that time. I had done some previous fire department work and stuff like that. So unfortunately, I've seen people in different various conditions. So I went to my boss at the time, Steve Miller, and I told him, I said, I can't send any of my people. I said, this is gonna, especially at that age and at this time with small kids, this could mess with them depending on what we find. So I spent 2 weeks at that house with Hickory PD. Still have good friends through it, but we spent pretty much day and night, 12 plus hours a day digging through the yard. It was huge. It made national news. We had everybody there. Well, by seeing that, SBI had brought their own truck in and they were analyzing right on scene. To me, it was very intriguing, very interesting. But after going through that, I tried to change careers. Hickory wouldn't switch me at the time. So actually, divine spirit, whatever you want to call it, I had the opportunity to go to BLET, and Caldwell County actually hired me right out of there. And like I said, I had a midlife crisis. So I was 43 going through BLET. Started here at Caldwell in January of 2012. Like I said, for some reason, my stint on the road was kind of short, about a year and a half. Went straight into investigations. So I've been in investigations pretty much all since then. The last year, I more or less have become a grants administrator. I write a lot of grants here for the county, for the sheriff's department. So I do that, but to me, everything's about the kids. They're our next generation. I used to be a foster parent, so my wife and my wife was the one that brought it up, and we both jumped into it head first. But we've had 45 kids at the house over 15 years.
Oh, wow.
That's incredible. Wow.
That's fantastic. You've got one. Do you know a Shauna Grace?
That's my daughter.
She says, "Hey, Dad," on the comments. So
she uses the grace part, but yeah.
You brought an audience with you. That's great.
Awesome.
That's very, very cool. That is amazing work doing that. So you get into investigations there, and then how do your paths cross with Harrison? How does that meeting come to be?
Well, like I said, I took over as a grants administrator. I've been writing the grants here since 2020, and I was able to hire a forensic guy. Detective Hansen, we were able to hire him through the COPS grant back in 2020, a computer guy. Unfortunately, the budget for a forensic guy on a smaller county is not there. So I started digging because I'm passionate about that, helping kids. So I started digging and looking, and actually the movie came out, which at that time was sponsored by OUR. The Sound of Freedom. I'm sure everybody's heard of Sound of Freedom movie. Well, I was the guy that stayed after the movie and watched the credits. So I went on the website, and they had a grant option there to help law enforcement for kids and human trafficking and stuff like that. So I wrote a grant and received it through them, through Nicole and Randy. And we actually got a Tolino forensic computer for them. To us, it was huge. It was 20,000+, but for what this thing is for us, it was huge. So he starts working on it, and I'm not one of those guys that just writes a grant and wants to take your money and then never talk to you again. So I kept up the conversations with him and brought it in. And one of the conversations I had with Nicole, she was like, "Did you ever think about a dog?" And I said, "Well," I said, "Yeah, I've always loved dogs. I've been a dog lover all my life. I wanted a dog, but I'm too old to be back on the road again at that time. I can't take those transitioning days and nights every 6 days. I said, I'm not doing that anymore. And I said, so it's always been on the back of my mind. And she's like, well, let me show you what we have. And that's when I went on their site and started researching the ESD canine, which I've never even known about until now. And so that process went on. I started digging, and I met an SBI agent up here that has one. It's a Cocker Spaniel. Is Nathan? He's from the SBI up here, and I got to see how that dog worked. And so I went ahead and I thought about it, and I talked to the family and talked to my wife and my kids, and because I knew it was going to be it's going to be some work. And they all gave me my blessing, so I applied. And our Sheriff Bean said, Dougie, if you want it, it's your dog. You're writing it. So, yeah, I wrote it, received it.
That's a great story. Goodness.
It was huge. Can't really see it in the video from what I'm looking because it's on this side of me. But back when I first started law enforcement and I graduated, my wife and kids gave me a Labrador canine stuffed animal. I can probably try to see if I can turn this thing.
Yeah, I see him there. Yeah.
There he is. He's up there. So miraculously, almost 12 years later, here I am with my own Labrador canine.
Right.
Oh, it was meant to be.
That's very cool. So I see the words, and I heard you say electronic scent detection.
Yeah.
And I hadn't really heard that involved with like police working dogs. What is that exactly? Tell people exactly what that means.
All right. So it's been around for a little while now. I think 2017. Started in Connecticut, and then Todd Jordan is Jordan the Texan's who I got Harrison from. He had Bear. Bear was an electronics dog that they worked with that actually was used in the Jared Fogle case, and did the investigations there. So all your electronics that store or transmit data, they have a chemical. It's just TPPO. It's like a chemical they have to spray on the actual memory portion. The rest of it is a huge processor. So to keep everything going and to keep it from overheating and melting down, they have to put this chemical on it. Well, that's what Harrison smells, and that's what ESD canine smell. So you think something as small as a microchip, which is about the size of your small fingernail, that's probably only about the size of a pinhead. And that's what these dogs alert on, is that chemical.
Oh, goodness. Wow.
So is that, in my mind, I'm picturing you guys are going in to perform a search warrant somewhere looking for different pieces of evidence, and he's there to locate the electronic
parts.
Yeah. So what we do is obviously we have a search warrant. It's the same one. Usually Detective Hansen or one of our staff do it. They go in, they take basically what you can see. On site is what we call it. But your bigger computers, if the cell phone's laying on the table, stuff like that, that's the stuff they find, they move out. Actually, with us, what we've tried to do is put a little sticky note or something like that in that area, because it still has, even though you remove it, it still has residual scent for a little while until air vents out.
Okay.
So that lets me know if he does alert in that area, he's not technically wrong. It's just we moved it.
Okay.
Once that stuff is out, Harrison and I go in and we look for the stuff that might have been overlooked.
Okay.
And not by any fault by an investigator. It's just things nowadays are so hard to find because they make them so small that the fact that he can smell it is better than even our eyesight. You can go, I hate to say it, but you can go on and find hidden cameras that'll look like smoke detectors or in the electric socket or the little plugs or a pen. I've got a pen that's an actual camera. Looks like a pen, writes like a pen, everything's like a pen. So if I were to lay it on your desk, you wouldn't even know it. But he can smell it.
That's
So
incredible. Wow.
yeah,
Doug, that's amazing what he does and what you all do together. Wow.
it is.
Uh-huh.
And I you know, reading through, you know, it was written here on the Humane
Fine.
Mhm.
Society site, uh, a critical role in investigations, but focuses on helping investigators in internet crimes against children. I think
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
that is a really cool thing because there's so many things going on, and you know
Mhm.
we advocate
Mhm.
a lot for animal abuse, but what we have found is those people that commit a crime against a human a lot of times start with animals, but when they move to
Yes.
humans, they start with very vulnerable people like children.
Children.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah, they do. And the thing is it's so. I mean, we all see it in the newspapers. Unfortunately, you know, the pinhole cameras that people are putting in public
Yes.
areas,
Mhm. Mhm.
and just the crimes. And like you said, I hate to say you study this stuff, but you start to really study it, and a lot of times they do start with hurting animals and then move to a child because
Mhm.
that's the next level progression.
Uh-huh.
Uh, so like I said, since I started this, my goal was to help kids. So this
Wow.
is just another avenue to work on it.
Uh,
So that's very cool. And so does he come with you every day to work? Do you
Every
guys
day.
you
He's
have
actually
scheduled days? Okay.
he's uh he's a little spoiled. But
that's
he's actually sitting. I'm waiting for him to start snoring. He's here on the floor beside me.
uh,
Um, but we start our day a little different. The nice thing with Harrison
oh,
is, yeah, that's my buddy.
That's
yeah,
a good picture right there.
it
Yep.
is.
So with him, he originally started off life at Dogs Inc. out of Florida, and was and law yeah, taught therapy and anxiety work.
Oh,
Um, So lucky for us, he does PTSD, he does anxiety. So we kind of dual role him. I hate to say, I kind of take him around. Um, but
oh,
when we come to work, as soon as we hit the door, we make our rounds. So we go first into the deputies' room, see all the deputies that are there, if they're there. From there, we go up to the ladies at our records, check on all of them. There we go to communications, go see all the communicators, and then go to investigations, command staff, and then come to my office.
wow.
Um, reach
Yeah.
skills out because you never know who's having a bad day. Um, so, and then the nice thing with being able to do that was if we are doing a search warrant and happen to come across a child or uh,
Uh-huh.
even a domestic situation, because he can find trackers. If we find somebody that's in distress, as soon as the search warrant's over, I can turn him back into therapy mode and just let him be with that victim
Uh,
instantaneously. No more waiting for a phone call, trying to schedule a meeting. We can send him right then and there.
wow. And that's why we love the American Humane, the whole idea of the hero dogs. We would have never heard Harris's story, Doug. It's just
Not,
incredible.
yeah.
And now
So
you're going to be able to share it with so many more people. It's wonderful.
that's what we're hoping, and
Yeah.
we use him for community outreach.
Uh-huh.
Um, we've been to the schools,
Yeah.
we've done job fairs, and then just recently in July, Harrison and I were one of the hosts of our summer kids camp.
Oh, great.
Which has exploded. So we had 65 children or kids in middle school is what our ages are. We had them every day for a week. And I
Oh,
take Harrison with me every day, and he interacts with them every day. And I got to teach him that. And we also, while I'm there, I hate to say they're back in school, but I teach them about internet safety
yeah. Well, that's
because that's what we focus
important.
on.
Yeah. Very important these. Yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Oh,
that's another good picture right there.
yeah.
And so
Yeah.
he's got some. He's specially trained for that, but it takes you know,
Mhm.
there you hear about dogs that you know can track scent, or, you know, someone that's alive, you can track them, or they can track dead bodies. But to be able to track
Mhm.
electronics, that seems
Phonics.
like a very unusual sort of niche, and doesn't seem like there's a lot of dogs out there doing what he's doing.
That's a superpower for sure. Gracious.
When I got Harrison in March, we graduated this past March, but when I got him in March, we were one of 6 in the state of North Carolina, and the furthest one on the western side. Currently, there's 8 in North Carolina, but we also, it's kind of hard to find because you just can't find it. You can't Google search ESD dogs and find out how many of them are in the States or in the world, because there's really not that data out there.
Yeah.
But when I graduated, we were number 188 in the world through Jordan detection.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, because you make me curious how many we have in the state of Kentucky, but I don't guess we can find out then, huh?
Now, you can go, well, I know you can find out about Jordan dogs because actually on his website, he has a map and shows where the dogs are placed.
Okay.
But then to find out, like, if the SBI has them or other agencies that were trained, because there's more than one trainer out there. I know there's a lady in Connecticut, and I think there's a few here in North Carolina, but they're not as broadcast. And really, nobody. You'll see the normal canines on the news. You know, an agency gets a new canine, but really with the electronics, you don't see the publicity like we do.
No. I hadn't. To be honest, I'd never heard of it. It's just intriguing. It's fascinating.
Yeah, that's very cool. So he does his job duties. He comes to work. He walks around, brings a smile to everybody's face first and foremost, and then he may have some work to do. And you know, it's very cool that he can go in and do the scent detecting work, but then also transition into a therapy dog. Tell us a little bit about sort of Harrison at home.
Yeah.
His off-duty Harrison. What kind of things does he get into?
Oh my goodness, off-duty Harrison he really is something else. I've got 2 other dogs at the house. So that's off-duty Harrison.
Undercover.
He's undercover. Yeah. He's getting ready to go into narcotics there. But I've got 2 other rescue dogs at the house. They're Huskies. One is my son's. He's an 85-pound Husky that we rescued out of Florida. And the other one's he's about 57 pounds, and that's my daughter's Husky. So they're Cohen Bandit. And it's funny because once we hit the driveway and the leash is on him, because I still put him on a leash, I get nervous. He's my buddy, but I still get nervous, you know, even though he listens, I don't want him taken off. But as soon as he knows we crest out of the back of that truck and he sees the steps, it's full bore to the door. And the other dogs are sitting there looking through the window at him. But it's funny because he knows he's home. Doesn't always listen as well. I mean, he is a 2-year-old. He doesn't listen as well as he does at work. But those 3 boys, whew, dog zoomies come out and they'll get running around. That picture right there was at one of our parties at the house. We have a bunch of friends come over, try to ease the anxiety sometimes. And the Crocs actually work great for when he jumps in the swimming pool, because I don't have to worry about hitting the liner.
Oh, he sounds like he's a lot of fun. How did you get?
He's the life of the party.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Yeah, he's the life of the party for sure.
How'd you find out about American Humane and the Hero Dog Awards?
Well, I heard about Hero Dog Awards because last year Bo down in Gaston County won. And Bo is in Gaston County. I've actually went down there and helped on a child search, and then actually that's who we would take to get our fingerprints done, is through Gaston County. And so it was kind of neat, little hometown thing. So I saw that. But then this year, it was through just talking with the people from Dogs Inc. Again, because we've kept in really good contact with some of the people from there. And they were like, have you ever thought about that? And I said, well, you know, I try to stay a little humble with us, but like, Yeah, if you want to, I'll try. I'll put it in. I'm not really sure where we'll go, and we made it to this. So I
Yeah.
love it. It's
Yeah.
overwhelming, but this is sort of the other aspect I wanted to do with him, is to show and get his name out there, that we're friendly. You
Yeah.
can come and talk to us. We're just law enforcement officers, but you can come talk to us and
Mhm.
pet my buddy, because that's the other thing with him, is you can pet him, you can love up on him, you can hug him, and he's still a canine.
Yeah.
Which
Mhm.
is nice when it working with the public like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it breaks the ice in a lot of situations, doesn't it?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and you can see that face. He breaks the ice quite well. So the kids
It always brings
always,
a smile to people's face. So American Humane, I have such a respect for the law enforcement category, the
For
military
sure.
category.
Mhm.
You guys love your dogs every bit as much as I love my dog, and I do everything I
Mhm.
can to protect my dog. And you
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
guys put your dog, you love them, but you got to put them out there in harm's way.
Mhm.
And the
Yep.
Yeah.
thought that you put your dog out there to go search for something, and
Mhm.
you don't know if they're going to come back, like that just blows my
Yeah.
mind. So it's a wonderful, wonderful thing that you guys are doing for the community.
Mhm.
Well, we appreciate it, but yeah, it we want to do it.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's not something we have to do. We just want to do it.
Well,
Right.
it takes special people to be able to do that, Doug. So
Well,
Do you
well, we
guys
appreciate.
have any? I do have a question from
Mhm.
another in North Carolina. You have any events or
yeah.
appearances coming up anytime soon? They'd like to come and see you all.
Well, we we just got finished kids camp. We had Blackberry Festival.
Oh,
We're already gearing up for the Christmas parades. I hate to say it that way, but we are.
no, we
Uh,
understand.
because that's another thing. Nobody really thought about putting a canine in a Christmas parade. So
Well,
he's so friendly, and everybody here in Caldwell County knows him.
We did.
Did
yeah,
you?
yeah.
That's awesome. I might
Easter
have to talk to you
Christmas
about it.
parades, Easter parades, St. Patty's Day parades.
But here's what I like. We've been in more parades than like I even thought I would ever. I can't even believe I'm saying.
Ever do.
But
Right.
you know what the really cool thing is? You get in a fun parade that's got a lot of kids around, and when they see the dog, they just hit
Uh-huh.
a whole nother level of excitement, and that's got
Yeah.
to. I mean, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we want. That's the goal, is
Yes.
let everybody get out and see him and
Uh,
enjoy him and love and hug up on him and just be the biggest, I don't know, the biggest friend he can be.
oh.
Well, he is 2, so we hope he's got a
He is.
whole long career ahead of him. So
Yep.
hopefully he does a tremendous amount of good for the rest of his career.
Yep.
So American Humane voting is for folks that probably, if you're watching this, voting is now until September 15th. You can vote
Right.
once a day. You can vote for a dog in each category. And we're going to try to bring some, from some folks on. But, Doug, tell folks, give us one more good. This is why Harrison is such great at what he does, and he's a wonderful dog to be around, and consider voting for him in the law enforcement category. Did we lose Doug?
Oh, I think we may have.
We may have lost Doug. He's
Uh,
there. You are.
There we go.
he
I think
is.
I'm back. I'm
There
sorry. You got to love it when you're sitting in a block building.
No,
Yeah.
that's not a problem. I didn't know if you heard my question. I was just going to say before
I
we
did.
get off here, give folks one more. Hey,
Mhm.
this is why Harrison is such a great dog, and consider voting for him.
Well, I mean, to me, he's just the most lovable person, the most public speaker, whatever you want to call it. He's the smart end of the leash. But
Love that.
but our limits we haven't even started really. I mean, I've got him in March, but he every day he's showing me more and more what he can do. and people are reaching out to me just like yourselves that I've never met before. So we're broadening the horizons, and you
Mhm.
know, you might not think of it as much as I do, but like to be something that's nationally out there is just overwhelming. Um, and we're just going to try to reach everybody we can, and if nothing else, be the next spokesman for ESD dogs out there to show them what we can do.
Exactly.
Um,
Well, I love your story, Doug. I love that you started out on roads and then the roads took you to where you are now. So it's a
yep.
great story.
No, thank you. Yeah, it's I didn't write it, so I just get to live it.
You're living. That's right. And those are the
But
best stories. That's wonderful.
It's
mhm.
very interesting how little things in life lead to make
Mm,
the bigger changes and lead
yeah.
you
Mhm.
down this path here. And talking with you the other day and talking with you right now and hearing the story, I think you're in the right place,
Like,
and we need folks like you and Harrison that are out there, investigating these crimes against children and making sure that kids are safe in our community.
Yep. Well, we're trying. I was waiting. He was up and walking. I was waiting for him to jump and try to tackle me. Uh, he just moseyed from one comfy spot to another one right now.
well,
Waiting for the next call. That's the thing with him. It's
yeah.
when it comes, we're allowed to go. So anybody in North Carolina, if they call, we're heading down to try to make a difference.
Yeah.
That's very, very cool. Well, voting is open now until September 15th. Go to AmericanHumane.org to place your vote. You can vote once a day in each category, and go there. Go to American Humane and read the stories, because what these dogs are doing is
Is
fabulous work, and
right.
we love American Humane for recognizing what these dogs are doing in their community. And until I read Harrison's story, I'd never heard of electronic
No,
sensor, and
no.
just
So,
to think about how important that is in law
Mhm.
enforcement is very, very cool.
yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and you hate to say you explained it a million times, but it to me it's fun to explain anymore now. So just because nobody's heard of them
Right.
and the difference that they can make, because it's not just. I mean, yes, our primary focus is for the children, but we've worked on homicide cases, domestic cases. Just electronics is out there everywhere right now. I've heard of them being used for some white collar cases because people need to store the data.
Oh,
Um,
uh-huh.
so
Well,
yeah,
you're going to educate a lot more people now through the American Humane. So that's wonderful, Doug.
oh well, we appreciate that, and we appreciate you guys putting us on here. This is fabulous.
Well,
Yeah.
we appreciate it. Lieutenant Doug Dupel and Harrison,
Good luck.
semifinalists in the law enforcement and first responder category. Good luck. Everybody go out
Yeah.
there and vote. Good luck, Doug. It was great talking with you and great meeting with you. And thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, thank you guys for having me. We
Thank,
really appreciate it.
thanks.
Harrison would say hi, but he's napping again.
He's
That's all right.
no
Ethan
problem. He
napping too.
deserves it. He's
Yeah.
deserved it. All right. You guys have a